Today I am going to give y'all my predictions for this Sunday's Canadian Grand Prix. The last time they raced here in Canada was the year of 2019, and since then a lot has gone on. 2020 we saw the Mercedes dominating, and in 2021 Mercedes were also very quick, but still were Red Bull and Max Verstappen, and Verstappen got the World Championship. A lot has gone on since they last raced here, but this time around, you got Ferrari kind of struggling with reliability issues, something Red Bull, the top team right now in Formula One, struggled with at the beginning of the year. Does any of these reliability issues carry over for Ferrari? I'll talk more about that in the video, but let's get started.
Hey, it's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. here at Kroger, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
This past weekend, Formula One raced in Azerbaijan, where we saw Max Verstappen getting the win over teammate Sergio Perez. And then we saw George Russell getting on the podium, with Lewis Hamilton getting in 4th place, and then Pierre Gasly in 5th. A very exciting weekend out in my favorite track in the Formula One calendar, Azerbaijan, a 10 out of 10. But after the race, I realized something was going on, and I got bit by something, stung by something, I don't know. Whatever it is, hopefully it goes away soon. That's why that's on there. But in Azerbaijan, 10 out of 10, you're going into Montreal. This is a back-to-back race weekend, and Ferrari is kind of on the back step of things. They had 2 cars DNF. Carlos Sainz DNF because of a hydraulic issue, which is nothing new to Formula One teams in the year of 2022. We saw Kevin Magnussen have a hydraulic issue sometime this year. I forget when, but the most big one and noticeable one was Fernando Alonso out in Melbourne during qualifying. If he did not suffer a hydraulic issue, Fernando Alonso could have probably been 9 times out of 10 on the pole and 10 times out of 10, 100% on the front row. He was like green, personal best in Sector 1, and then purple in Sector 2 by a mile. So Fernando Alonso was probably going to get the pole, but the hydraulic issue held him back. But that is the reason why Carlos Sainz failed to finish the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And that stung for him because now he finds himself all the way down in 5th place in the points, which is not ideal, but you can still make some hay as the season goes on, because there is the possibility that the Red Bulls will miss a couple of races because of the budget cap. And I just don't know. I don't know if that's either true or just a bunch of cap and false information. And a lot of overreacting going on there by Christian Horner and Dr. Helmut Marko. So that's for a whole another video. And then on the other hand, he had Charles Leclerc, who had a bad mechanical failure, which he lost his power unit and IC, internal combustion engine, ICE, or just ICE. I don't know why they come up with all these ICE, to say ICE. But they lost it all, and now they're on the 3rd one heading into Montreal. That is not ideal at all for Ferrari, because they're going to have to start taking grid penalties before too longer, and that's going to pretty much hurt their chances of winning Grand Prix. And all they can rely on now is Red Bull starting to struggle here and there, and Mercedes picking up the pace and bringing the fight to Red Bull. And I can see that happening, but not anytime soon. Maybe by the end, maybe towards France. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. Porpoising issues are going to carry on for Mercedes heading into Montreal. But I've talked well enough now, so I'm just going to get into my predictions. But winning this Sunday's Grand Prix out in Montreal, Canada, will be young Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen will go back-to-back wins in this 2-race swing before the teams get off for a couple of weeks before Silverstone. But yes, Verstappen will get the win in my opinion. And Sergio Perez, his teammate, is also going to have another stellar weekend here, but he will not finish second, because I believe Ferrari will solve all of their power unit and internal combustion engine issues by this weekend. I don't think it's going to be perfect, but I think they'll fix it. And I think second place is going to be the ceiling for them. And I think Charles Leclerc is going to be the driver bringing it home there. A great rebound for him, and he is still in the championship hunt. I know there was a lot of talk after Azerbaijan whether or not Verstappen are just going to run away with it all. I can see it, but I doubt it. I don't think Ferrari is just going to let it go away. They still have yet to bring a couple of developments to the track here and there, and they're just saving them towards the end of the year. Silverstone and Spa, save the dates. Those are the big announcements or introductions for the new parts and upgrades for Ferrari. They made it clear, Silverstone and Spa. So keep an eye on that. But Charles Leclerc will finish second, and I kind of gave it away, and Sergio Perez will finish third on the podium. So Verstappen, Leclerc, and Perez. Fourth place is going to be young George Russell. Every race this year, Mr. Consistency from James Vowell, engineering, from Mercedes. Mr. Consistency has finished in top 5 every race this year. I think that streak will continue on in Montreal, but he will have to suffer a price and a consequence, which is called porpoising. He's going to hurt himself because this track right here, Montreal, is a flat-out fast race track. It's a lot of straight lines, so the porpoising is going to be much worse here than it was in Azerbaijan. And it's going to be very hard for Mercedes, but I think they can do it. They got the right team and leadership leading them, and I think they'll get things solved. But they have to settle for fourth place here, which I believe will be the ceiling. But rounding out your top 5 is going to be Lewis Hamilton. And yes, I left out Carlos Sainz because I believe he will have a DNF. Just going off of stats, more like this year compared to years past, Carlos Sainz, when he has an issue in a race, the following race, he always has something go on. He's overthinking it, and he is not secure on him. Like, he's not secure. And he's afraid that if he doesn't do something right, he might get fired. And he was racing like that at the beginning of the year, but eventually he signed a contract with the team, and things kind of calmed down. But it's going to be an interesting weekend to see how Carlos Sainz does. I believe he will not do good at all, but he can very well go out there and flat out dominate and have a good weekend and good result, maybe a podium. But I think that's going to take a lot of work, but I believe they will have an issue and unfortunately will DNF from the race. And it will make him a clear number 2 driver as the season goes on for Charles Leclerc. Unless Leclerc has a DNF this weekend and Sainz, I guess a podium. I highly doubt it, but yes, I can very well see Carlos Sainz being announced as a clear number 2 driver for the team, the wingman position. Ask Valtteri Bottas how that goes. But my dark horse here for this weekend is going to be something, I don't know, or someone that you don't really expect here out of a Formula 1 race weekend. Not the driver, but the car, and Aston Martin. No, I'm not talking about Lance Stroll. I am talking about Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel this past weekend in Azerbaijan was on fire. And just think about it here. If he did not spin out in the Grand Prix, he could have very well finished in 5th place, maybe even 4th place. So, had a great weekend overall. Going into Canada, one of his better tracks. So, Vettel, he's not going to win the Grand Prix by any means, but he can very well bring it home inside the top 5. And I believe that is possible for the team. And we'll see how things go there. But it's also a big weekend for 2 Canadian drivers before I sign off here. You got Lance Stroll and Nicholas Latifi. I know not everybody in the world are big fans of Nicholas Latifi or Lance Stroll, but it's their home track. You got to wish them well. Good luck this weekend, them 2 drivers. But there you go. Verstappen will win. Charles Leclerc second. Third will be Sergio Perez. 4th place will be Mr. Consistency, George Russell. And 5th place will be Lewis Hamilton. And my dark horse will be Sebastian Vettel. Good luck, 2 Canadian drivers this weekend. Please like and subscribe.